to another episode of In Your Business. Today, we're going to learn from a very interesting entrepreneur who I almost think is kind of a combination of an entrepreneur and an artist, because when I look at her menu and I look at what she's got to offer, it's very creative and it's really a piece of art. And I mean, each of us get to customize our art. And I think that's very interesting. So as we learn from this entrepreneur, I'm excited to find out exactly how she got started and what she was thinking when she started, because it's such an interesting business. It's Lisa's Cakes, and Lisa's Cakes is located in the Depot District here in Richmond, Indiana. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi. Thank you.
So Lisa, it's going to be a fun day for me to just learn about your business, but also learn about your products and services, because you've got quite a variety going on there.
Yes, you do.
But before we learn about the business, I always like to learn about you as the entrepreneur. So Lisa, did you grow up here in the Richmond area?
I did. I've lived in Richmond all my life. Yep.
Okay, so you went through Richmond Community Schools.
Yep. I went to one elementary school, one middle school, and then Richmond High School.
And then as you were growing up, though, what were you thinking? Because most of us as children, you know, we want to be a police officer, a fire person. We want to be an ambulance driver, helicopter. Myself, I wanted to be an attorney. What were you thinking?
I wanted to be one of those starving artists.
Really?
Yes.
So you wanted to be an artist from day one.
Yep, I did.
So as you were thinking about art, were you thinking a certain style of art, or were you always thinking of baking?
No, not baking at all. My preference would be like painting or sculpting or, you know, something like that, and never thought in a million years it would be with food.
Okay.
Right. So yeah.
So I have to ask now, because do you paint? Do you work with ceramics?
I do. I've volunteered at various places and have painted backdrops for plays, and I love painting furniture. And I don't get to do that much now because I'm busy caking. But yeah, painting is my relaxation.
So you just used the word caking. Is that
yeah,
something you created, or is that something that's out in the market?
I think it's out there. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Caking.
Yeah, because I don't just bake, I cake. So, you know.
We're going to get back to caking here in just a couple of minutes. So Lisa, you graduated from high school. Beyond high school, tell us about what kind of training you've had and what kind of schooling.
I tried IU East out for a little bit, and it just wasn't my thing. So I just got into working, and I actually started working at the hospital there here in Richmond, and doing in various departments. And I was there for about 18 years before I started doing the caking.
So you worked at the hospital for 18 years in various positions?
Yeah, I ended up doing cakes there the last about 10 years of my time there. Because while I was working there, I kind of got into the caking thing. When my kids were little, my very first cake was when my daughter turned 2, and she's 23 now. It took me forever to do a little sheet cake with Blue's Clues figures on it, but it was so fun for me to do, and that was the start of the whole love of caking.
Okay, well, don't be difficult on yourself, because I couldn't do it today, no matter how many hours I tried. So,
well, it's not something I thought I wanted to do or could do. It just progressed as time went on, and yeah, so I guess it's what I should be doing.
I think so. And so today I'm in my office, and you're actually in your studio, and
yes.
That's what you call it, as a studio.
I call it a dessert studio, because to me it feels like art. And so I want to be different, and it's not a bakery, it's a dessert studio. It's a bakery, but you know.
So Lisa, your studio is located right next door to Roscoe's.
Yes.
And there's several other businesses there in the building as well. And what's the official name of the building? What do you guys go by?
The whole building is the Loft Highway.
The Loft Highway. Okay.
Yes.
And that's located really in the heart of the Depot District.
It is.
And do you have any idea how many businesses are actually there?
Oh my goodness. I would say over a dozen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
would
quite a
agree.
bit going on here.
I would agree, and it's really fun. I mean, a lot of days I'll wake up in the morning and just start my day and run down to Roscoe's maybe to get a coffee. And
Yes.
when I see the parking lot, I'm thinking, oh no, they're busy. And
Uh-huh.
then I come in and it's like not just Roscoe's is busy, everybody's busy.
It's everybody. It's kind of a one-stop building. You can do pretty much anything here in this building for a whole day. It's you know, you food, coffee, shopping over at Lux Lizzie's. There's an array of pampering things upstairs like haircut, pedicures, nails, massages, and there's so much more that I I'm just amazed.
It's fun. It's great that the entrepreneurs have embraced that building and that
Yeah.
area and that community. And the Depot District has always been one of my passions because I love coming
Yeah.
down there and meeting the
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, and it's the real deal. Okay. It's people like yourself. It's those who are coming in the morning and unlocking that door and hoping that everything goes smooth today, locking the
Yes.
door and going home.
And one thing I love about it is we're all passionate. Like we all have our heart and soul in our businesses and this area, which is, it feels good to me to be a part of.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to know a little bit about the business, but I have to be honest and say that each time that I've been in Roscoe's and I pop over to see your business, there's something that's very common, and maybe it's just because it's been summer, but there's always children in there enjoying your desserts.
Yes. Yes. I
So,
love it. It feels like the new tradition, I guess, is, you know, parents will bring their kids up to get their hair cut and they get to come down here and get a cupcake afterwards or a cake pop or something. So it seems it's just fun to see that new tradition happening.
well, it's fun for me because it's not your traditional typical type of bakery at all. It's again, it's a fun thing because you see these children consuming these cupcakes and they're smiling and they're laughing and they're talking and they're just absolutely enjoying the moments, and you
Right.
can tell the parents are enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
like it gave them something to do for another 15 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then they
So
can like kind of walk around next door to Lux Lizzie's while their kids in here eat the cupcakes. And so it's just a win-win situation here.
well, good for you. And I think you've done a good job with products. That way it lends itself to that because maybe the family's planning an event and they need a sheet cake. And so you're able to work with them and create that sheet cake for them or whatever it might be. At the
Yep.
same time, the children are having to wait. You have like the cupcakes and the mini cupcakes and such. So it's not a problem for them to have something while they're waiting.
Exactly.
So that's exciting. But off camera, I was asking you because for me, it's a little overwhelming, but at the same time, for others, it's probably an opportunity. But how many different flavors do you offer?
Oh my God. I actually have not counted the cake flavors that I offer.
Mhm.
Um, but it's probably around 20.
Yeah, I know
And
the
there's
menu.
going to be more next, like soon. I'm revamping and there's more possibilities. So
Yeah.
yeah, the possibilities are endless, you
Well,
know.
the menu that I have that you gave me, I think
Oh
has
yeah,
probably 15 to 20 different
yes,
flavors of cake.
of cake.
Okay.
And that's cake. That's not necessarily what's in our bakery case. It's stuff that can be pre-ordered, you know, for custom cakes and things like that for events and little parties, large parties. So I like to give everybody a wide variety of choices.
Well, you certainly do, because in addition to those, say 20 flavors of cake, you also have another 20 or 25 flavors of fillings.
Oh yes. Oh
And
yes.
so you can mix and match, and I don't even know where to start. So I'm sure your expertise would help. But getting a carrot cake and then knowing what filling, so
Yep.
that's
Yep.
the art.
Yes, it is.
So I love the products. I love the services that you offer. I love the fact that you work with people and you can help them make their event wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it sounds like even down to maybe putting a design on it and such is something you
Yep.
could probably do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now just in curiosity of knowing, what's the time? So like if I had an event, do you need 2 weeks? Do you need 2 days?
Um, you know, depending on the situation, normally I ask for 3 to 4 weeks notice, but there are times where I can squeeze in short notice things like a couple days or a week or something. Um, you know, I want to, people like cake, so I want to make sure that they can get it.
Sure. So let's talk about your location a little bit more. So is this your original location or did you start elsewhere and move in?
I started elsewhere in another local restaurant here in the depot, and so I started out there, and it was there for about I'm gonna say 3-ish 3 years maybe.
Okay.
And then this place came available. I was growing out of my tiny little kitchen over there, and I needed more space. So this came available, and the kitchen space has doubled. Plus, I have a storefront. And so I didn't go far. I just kind of went across the street. So it was an easy move.
Okay. So you've been in the Depot District the entire time,
I have, yes.
which is great because that's local and it's the
Yeah,
local business area.
and I'm comfortable here and I love it here. So um, that's where my customers know where I'm at. So it was a good move, I thought, to
And
do.
I'll tell you, as an entrepreneur, I think it's again brilliant because you're correct. You have a storefront,
Mhm.
but it's shared with other storefronts. So
Yes,
it's not like
yeah,
you're out there by yourself, you know.
exactly.
You guys are helping each other.
We do. It does feel very cohesive, and customers love it. They come in and they're happy, and they can walk through all three of our stores, Lux, Lizzie's, My Store, and Roscoe's, in just freely. You can grab a Roscoe's coffee and come in here and drink it, or vice versa. So it's people just. I feel like people love the vibe that's being given off here.
Sure.
And the cohesiveness, and it's just fun and happy.
I like that. I like that sharing because, you don't have to be the coffee expert because Roscoe's
Right,
got that covered.
exactly.
They
That's
don't have to be the bakery expert because you've got the cupcakes. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a good mix.
Yes, it is. It's a really good mix.
So you went from the hospital for 18 years and then you became an entrepreneur and went out on your own.
Yes.
So that's brave, but that's what entrepreneurs do.
Yeah, yeah. That was
And
a big.
I know you're caking and I know that it's great and you're living your dream of being that artist as you were growing up.
Mhm.
But being an entrepreneur takes on a lot of responsibilities.
Oh, yes, it does.
So I imagine the first part was even signing a lease.
Yes. Yeah, it's scary. You got that big chunk of rent that you have to pay, and all the bills that come with it, and it's very scary. Like, yeah, it's a big leap.
So as you started thinking about it, how much time do you recall the time that maybe from the time you said, hey, I really think I'm going to do this till you actually did it?
Gosh, it's always been in the back of my mind. And while I was still at the hospital, people are always like, you need to go do your own business. And, for me, it's sure, that would be great to, it's easy to say,
Yeah.
but there's a lot that goes into it when you start a business. It's
Sure.
the expenses, the time, and all that. So it was just a feeling I had. I had the opportunity to start my own business, and I'm gonna say it took about so goodness 3 months, 3 to 6 months to just really have that firm. I'm doing this thing.
Hey, Lisa, there's no right answer on this because I'm
know.
telling you, I've had people who just said, hey, I'm starting a business tomorrow. And they did. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not suggesting that, and then I've had other ones that plan for years. So
Oh, yeah.
everything works. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about being an entrepreneur though, is it's you and the good and the bad. And
Yes.
so when it's great, hey, it's yours. But when it's difficult, it's yours as well.
It is. And we
So,
just have to keep trying, keep working at it, and learn from our mistakes,
yeah,
because mistakes are made. They're always made.
absolutely.
So I appreciate mistakes because I can learn from that. That feels like growth to me. So,
Well, good for you. So they're at the shop, at the studio.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. I really love the fact you call it a studio, and it feels like a studio. It does. It
Oh,
feels
yeah.
comfort. It
Good.
feels like you can come, you can relax, you can enjoy, and just, you know what, pamper yourself once in a while.
That's right. Yeah.
But when you come to the studio, it's yours. How did you truly decide that things like your hours, your location, all those type of things? Do you have like people that you work with, or do you do it all yourself? Do you have like an advisory team?
Well, I have family support. Um, my husband is wonderful, and he gives good advice. He's a smart guy. And so also I just want a cool place to hang out and to give good products. Um, Now that I'm in this location, I've needed more help because we produce more things now with the full bakery case and the custom cakes. I still do all the cakes, the decorating of mostly all the cakes. I've brought in my son, who is 25. He quit his job to come here and work full time. So
Okay.
I have somebody that I can trust and rely, and he knows me so well. And he's actually baking and decorating some of the things. And he pretty much makes all the things that we make in the bakery case, with some help from some of my other staff. But it seems to come natural for him. So I'm proud of him for his accomplishments over the last year, with being here at my store. So yeah, I definitely could not do this without my amazing staff. Um, they are what makes me be able to do this.
Okay. So then basically it's kind of interesting because you're following your dream and passion, and then you're teaching your son at the same time.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
sounds like at some point he'll be right in line to either
Well,
grow
what,
the
you know,
business, continue the business, or whatever it
maybe,
happens.
hopefully, you know.
Yeah. And it sounds like he must enjoy it.
I think he does. I think we didn't know that this was in his blood, with the caking world, and he's great with the customers, and yeah, he's a blessing.
Okay. So Lisa, how many total employees do you have?
I have about, I'm gonna say there's about 6 of us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, not huge, but it's enough. And we all have it through this past year of being in our new location. I've given the staff more responsibilities in as far as production goes, just because there's much more going on here. Um, so I've had to let go of some of the tasks that I love to do and delegate to my staff.
Yeah, but I think I heard you say though that a lot of that day-to-day stuff you've given away. But
Yes.
when it comes to the customization, if I come in and say, hey, I need a designer cake for the boss program and I want this, you're hanging on to that because you're
That
really
one's
doing a
me.
good
That
job.
one's me. Yeah. And I deal with all the customers who order cakes. For the most part, there are some that my other staff takes care of. But the majority, I
Great.
I feel like the one-on-one, I'm the one making it. So if I'm the one taking the order, then I know it's correct and I know what's going on with it. It just makes it more cohesive with the
So,
customer.
so Lisa, you have a lot going on there. And I mean, from the what are your hours? Tell me that, because that's going to take me to my
We
next question.
we are open 10 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay, so your storefront's open 10 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday.
Mhm.
So 10 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. Does that mean that's when you work?
Yeah, that is. I maybe I get 1 to 2 days off a week. Sundays are my day off. I like to take the whole day off Sunday. And that's pretty good for me. Yeah.
So Lisa, I think you took my question a different direction because you're wanting to know if that's really when you work. What I want to know is your storefront's open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Are you working after 6 sometimes? Are you coming in before 10? Are you
Oh,
working
gosh, yeah.
sometimes on Sunday? Are
Yeah,
you,
it's not just a 10 to 6 job for me. It's my world. I mean, it's my kids both are grown up and adults now, and this is now my, you know, my baby, I guess.
Mhm.
Uh, and it requires a lot of time and effort, and I don't mind it. This is just me. It's just me.
Yeah, well, I know I think like an entrepreneur, I act like an entrepreneur, I am an entrepreneur, and so are you and many others. So I'm sure that you're like myself, even though you're not working maybe, on Monday, if you go to some place and you see something for the studio,
Oh,
you're like, this is perfect for the studio,
yeah.
you get it, and you go to the studio to make sure.
Yeah,
So,
I love being inspired by other places, and when we go out of town, and we're always checking out the dessert menu everywhere we go. We love food. My husband and I, we love to eat good food, and so we're always checking out the new and hot things and trendy things out there when we go out of town and exploring. Um, and it's good inspiration for me because you know, I'll, I may have a dessert that I really like, but then I'll come and back here and I'll just switch it up a little to it for it to be my own dessert creation.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have your menu, okay? So I'm looking at the things that you have,
Mhm.
and your pricing seems so reasonable.
Well, that's one of the hardest things to have to do here. You know, I I don't think things should be super expensive. Um, and I want it to be compatible with our area. So yeah, I try to be reasonable in the things in the pricing that I do.
Well, as I look at it and I think about, the fact you've got a storefront, you have to pay rent, you have to pay unit expenses, you've got employees, you have a lot of things that go into business.
Mhm.
And then you've got your inventory costs, your
Yeah,
production costs
yes.
and such as well. So I mean, your prices are very, very reasonable. And so I hope that people would, recognize the fact that we need to support local entrepreneurs like yourself. Now, do you do everything just in the storefront, or have you ventured out to some other things? I know some people like to go to like the farmers markets and places like that. I don't know if that's something you do or not.
Oh, that is not something I do. My time is more efficient when I'm in the kitchen, doing the custom cakes and things like that. I can do events and things like that. Sometimes we've catered outside of our shop to, cater a dessert venue somewhere. We do lots of weddings, so there's a lot of traveling on Saturdays for those wedding locations, and we go as far as Indy, Muncie, Anderson. Um, well, just this weekend I went to Tennessee with a cake, so
Really? I hope that there
it was
was,
a family member. So yes,
oh, okay,
that
okay,
was a
okay.
pleasure bit trip too. So
Okay, because
but yeah,
I was gonna say there's got to be a price adjustment for that. I mean, come on.
yeah, that's a love price there, when for family and things. So my
Okay,
niece got married, so yeah,
understood.
yeah.
Okay. So as the last couple of years, many of us have experienced different problems. A lot of times it's been the labor, but I know you're not experiencing that issue so much because you got a lot of family involved. But at the same time, there's been a lot of shortage. There's been a lot of things we
Mhm.
can't get. Have you
Yes,
suffered from that? Have you realized that in your business?
I've suffered from that. We can't get certain things through our providers, and yeah, it's a little frustrating, but we just kind of work around it. You have to think quickly and improvise and think ahead mostly. um, but yeah, that has been over the past couple of years, and it's still currently an issue.
Mhm.
Um,
I know we study it quite extensively here at the university, but it's the fact that each of us and each of our
yeah.
businesses, and
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
something we've had to work around. We didn't expect that because,
Oh.
again, when I'm working with you, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, we think it's our business.
Mhm.
Then we find out very quickly Well, we're responsible for our business, but we don't really have full control.
Right. There are so many other avenues out there that we have to rely on. And so we just got to figure it out as we go.
And that's where the flexibility comes in. And so I'm glad you're flexible with it.
Yeah.
So Lisa, tell us though, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talked about how you got into entrepreneurship and when you got into it. What is something that you absolutely love about entrepreneurship? What is one of the things you would tell, like the students that I teach at university, why entrepreneurship?
Well, first of all, I never thought that, when I was growing up, that I would be an entrepreneur. That seemed very scary to me and like big. And now that I am, I have a lot of passion and it's in my heart. And I feel like if you have that, then you can do pretty much anything that you put your mind to. Not going to say it's going to be hard, easy. It's not always easy, but if it's hard, then that means you're working at it and it's just a passion thing. It just means so much more, and you're growing as you are developing yourself and your business. So that's kind of my idea of this, is to just keep improving, keep getting better, and just roll with it.
I think it's interesting you went there on things that's enjoyable and fun, and it's like that makes who you are. That's an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Is that responsibility gives us our purpose.
Right.
And so it's our purpose to make sure that business delivers.
Right.
So I really love that. So anything you're excited about for the future? Are there some future plans?
Well, that just put me on the spot there. I've been training the staff and hopefully, my staff will kind of step up and do more of the customizing of the cakes and things like that, just like creating art themselves. Because I just think that's a fun thing. It makes you, you're proud of yourself for creating something. And I see that with some of my staff with it. They make some of the product and people then come in and compliment on it. And it's like, well, this person did that. And it just makes them, it's just fulfilling to watch.
Lisa, thanks for doing a great job.
Oh, thanks.
This concludes another episode of In Your Business. I'm going to tell you, I am excited to conclude this episode the way we are, because that question, I just put Lisa on the spot. I asked her what the future holds. And I thought it was really interesting because as she answered that, I seen this glow. And it's not just about the products. Now she's talking about developing her employees. Okay. And making them a part of the business. And I think it's wonderful to see an entrepreneur not only passionate about her products and services, but about her employees and her people. So I think it's wonderful to have an entrepreneur like that on the show. Thanks again for watching this episode In Your Business.